What is going on, everybody? Anon here, and this is a 2 for 1 night. I got a little bit of extra time here, so I'll do a second video. So, Gundam TCG. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen. Pokemon's hot, One Piece is hot, Magic's on fire. Where do the dollars go next? Because there's really no other obvious one uh, that could potentially catch fire that has yet to do so. So, I present to you Gundam card game. So I've brought this up probably 3 times before, where the product has started to dry up and then another wave has come from distribution. The price gets smashed, and every idiot store and their brother decides that they're going to undercut the price in the market by 15%, 10%, just because these stores hate money and they're dumb. So that brings me to Newtype pricing. So I want to walk through this. So we had a fairly sizable restock a little bit ago. And we've seemed to have worked through this to the point where we've now moved up from 140 to, and by the way, there's 407 boxes, but this drives me nuts with TCG Player. There's one store that has 300 Korean boxes or Japanese boxes listed at $50. All it does is affect the market price. I mean, look, most recent sale price 180. The market price is 158. It's a break in TCG Player's algorithm. I don't know how to fix it other than to just prevent those sales from happening, or have a separate link underneath each one of these, which really blows out your database. So I don't have a good answer other than to just ban it all together. But these guys like money, so if you don't get the sale, you don't get the fee. So I get it. So there's just over 100 boxes available for this, and we've been here before, but we haven't been here before with the case numbers as tight as there are. So I want to walk through that. So in the last month, there have been 382 boxes sold. 5,100 boxes sold life to date on this thing, which is really, really good. It's a big number. And by my best estimation, there's probably 125,000 boxes of these in English in the wild, maybe 150,000. But I think it's a little bit on the lower side. And my rule of thumb, generally speaking, is if I think it's one number, just tack on 25% to it. But in this scenario, a lot of the stores have dumped it. A lot of the cheap online stores sold boxes over the holidays for like $140. So a lot of it's flushed out. So if we take a look at just the market depth in general, you have these clowns, this clown, and then you're at 180. So 2 boxes, you're at 180. Then you're 185, 185. So you're 190, and then next thing you know, you're 200. So we are not that many boxes from this being back to $200, which quite honestly, I mean, that's a 40% increase from the low that was just a week or a couple weeks ago, because the product's starting to dry up. And the reason why I have a high degree of conviction on this is look at the sell-through. It's still selling 11 boxes a day. This set came out in July. So we are now 6 full months away from release, and these boxes are still selling very, very well. Destined Rivals is not selling 11 boxes per day. Just so you guys have some level of magnitude or a benchmark against a set that everybody loves. In fact, I think they're selling like 9 boxes a day, which is still amazing. So there's a ton of interest in this set. Now, the second set leaves a little bit to be desired for now, but that's most likely going to change. So here is why I think now is the time for these to go nuts. And once these start moving up, there's so much money sloshing around there. It's going to get people's attention, and people are going to start buying into it. And there's not going to be a whole lot left. And the boxes of GDO1 are going to go nuts. Then everybody's going to move to GDO2. And next thing you know, this is the second coming of OnePiece. It feels so much similar. So here are the cases. So for the longest time, there were like 30, 40 cases available. Now there's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 because I hid 2 foreign cases. So you have a case at 2,300, then you're at 2,700, then you're at 3,500. Now you're talking like $250 a box. There's 12 boxes in a case here, 275, 300, whatever the number is, closer to 300, I guess. There's no depth left in this market. There's just not. So I think now's the time. I'm not gonna lie. I do own a bunch of this because I like it. I like the IP. I think it's cool. I played the game, baited it a couple times. I thought it was a fun game, and I'm not really a gamer at this point in my life. So the liquidity on this is screaming. If you want to own it, now's the time, or it's going to be, again, $200-$300 box. I think I mentioned that these boxes are probably $500 at some point in time in 2026. And that's just the way it's going to be. You have sets 4 and 5 released, and then they have an EBO1 set, an extra booster set coming out. So if you know anything about extra booster sets with Bandai, a case of EBO1 for One Piece is like $12,000. EBO2 is like $6,000. The new set, which doesn't come out for another 3 weeks, is $6,000 right now. You can be early to this game. It's going to catch fire at some point in time. I'm here doing this video because I think the time is most likely now, just based on reading the supply and demand in the market and the fact that the supply is really starting to dry up. So dual impact. This is interesting. So the first set, I do want to talk set size real quick. So the set size for this was 130 plus 4 with 47. This is 130 plus 13 plus 47. And we'll go to Steel Rec Room real quick. So this is 148 plus 18 plus 45. And I think, don't quote me, I thought Steel Requiem, they added a 4th color. I know they were rolling that out at some point. So I think that's why there's more cards. I could be totally wrong. Could just be pulling it out of my you-know-what. But these boxes have really not done well. And they haven't done well because the set doesn't really synergize well with the first set. For one. For two, the first set's been languishing for a little bit because there's been a lot of supply to work through. I know Rudy mentioned there's not a lot of supply. They've hit the market with like 5 different waves of restock. Now, whether that's just 2 waves from Bandai and it's just a staggered rollout across different distributors, or if there genuinely have been that many waves that have come in just to try to, inch the market along with supply. I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, look, 3,300 boxes sold, 312. There aren't a whole lot of foreign boxes. But I mean, $85 before fees is basically, distro price on these is like $30 or $71, $72. So this is basically at cost on these boxes for the second set of a game where the first set, to me, looks like it's about to go parabolic. They're cheap. The cases are cheap. $1,000 for the case of these. Again, there's only 19 cases listed on the market now. There's certainly a lot of cases out there that aren't listed because they're not profitable right now. But yeah, the sell-through on this 22 boxes per week. There's so much demand for this game right now. Current quantity 312, 700 have sold in the last month, and this set came out in October. This isn't exactly a young set. Is it October? Yeah, right here, October. So again, the set's been out for 3 months, and it's still humming. It's selling like crazy. Again, you go to cases are 19. So that brings me to the next set. So Steel Requiem comes out next Friday. And a lot of people say this could be the make or break set, but ideally this set should kind of meld together the first set, the second set, and put together a cohesive library of cards for people to play from. And I think what's really interesting is there's already 550 boxes that have sold during the pre-release, north of 150 bucks, which is fascinating since the last set's only selling at 85.95. And just real quick here, let's just benchmark this. If we go back to the pre-release, I mean, pre-release was 190, and then took a step down. And right here, this is your second wave of product coming in. So you can see how it really had an impact on the market. But it's going to be super interesting to see what happens here. Now, would I buy it at 150 right now? No. Why would I buy this at 150 when I could buy the first set at 150, 160, 170? That makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm sure the set's going to be awesome. The cards are all fantastic. I mean, they feel great. They're just your typical Bandai cards. And then just looking at cases real quick. There's 17 cases listed. So this is probably the last chance you're going to get to buy GDO1, the first set, at these price levels. It's something that doesn't have a 2 in front of it. And I just have this feeling that once it starts to move and catch fire, the FOMO world's going to hop on, and they could gap up to 300 bucks relatively quickly. Just bring it to everybody's attention. Do with it what you may. I'm a fan. So anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. We do have a notification bot. It is an all-in-one for OnePiece, Gundam, OnePiece, Riftbound. It's $4.99 a month, but there's a free trial. We're probably going to run a promo on it here in the next week or two, where we're going to offer probably some a Riftbound Origins pack and an OP14 pack if you sub, and it's going to be a really, really super discounted price, probably like an MSRP thing. But yeah, guys, check it out. Anyway, enjoy the snow and have a good evening.